Good morning, Floss Tube. Jan Hicks here, back with another Stitch With Me. We're going to try and get back on track with the daily Stitch Mania Stitch With Me's. It is May 15th at about 9:30 in the morning. Kind of feel like I'm scattered this morning. I totally am off schedule. I wanted to get this up earlier, but got thrown off because of a problem with what I was going to do. So I'm just kind of going in, feel like I'm going in 15 different directions. There's also a bunch of texts coming in to Mike's phone from our younger son. I went and looked at them, but since he's just texting Mike and not me, I'm going to say not my problem, and Mike can deal with it when he gets home from work. He didn't text me, so that obviously means he doesn't want my input, right? Right. Okay, let's see. Sunny day here so far in Maryland, although it's going up to 90. It's like 97% humidity. There is a severe thunderstorm watch, I think, so it's been that way the past couple days. Maryland summer, welcome back. All right, yesterday, my new start was Moments in Chalk. Oh, I'm bumping you already, guys. I'm sorry. A moment in chalk. So I am going to be doing, this is the centerpiece, and then as you can see, the centerpiece, and then slowly working my way, adding all the little decorative floral pieces around the outside. I've changed some of the colors in this. I know that is a huge shock to you guys. I don't like this to be so yellow and orange, so I've changed the yellows to more pinky salmon tones, I believe. So we'll see that eventually. I started in the middle on this one, so I'm working right in here. And that is what I have done. This is the fabric that I got from XG Designs, a custom size. This is her chalkboard fabric. It is gorgeous. This is a 36 count. I'm doing one thread over two. So far, the flosses that I'm using are both Victorian Motto. This is Victorian Motto Sleigh Ride, and this is Coastal Seaweed, both from one of the monthly club kits. The pattern calls for, oh, it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. I don't have that part out. But I believe this was supposed to be Tropical Ocean. And this, I'm not sure. That might have been Aged Pewter. Or no, I think that was Huckleberry. So anyways, looking good. Got quite a bit chunked done in just the few hours that I stitched on it last night. So, quite happy with that. Today's start, this is where all my hiccups came in. Today's start was supposed to be an oldie. It was supposed to be the Colonial Charms sampler by Maureen Appleton. This is a design from 1986. Yeah, and I've had it probably about that long. Don't know where I got it. This came as a complete kit with all of the linen. See, all the stuff in the threads you needed. So I started like I always do. I put a few stitches in, and you can see on this picture, and of course pictures lie, we know that, but you can see on this picture that that linen looks fairly light. She does say in the kit that it's a 26 count natural linen, but that looks like an awfully light linen, doesn't it? So when I started as always, well, not as always, but as I often do, up here in the upper left corner. And this is a green, this is a 3052, and it's fairly noticeable on this linen. This little bulb looking thing in here, finial looking thing, is another green. It's a darker green. So I started, and this is what I have. And this linen is actually looking quite a bit lighter with my odd light shining on it. Let me kind of put that up a little bit. Still looking pretty light from the light coming in from outside. But anyways, Of course, you can see it because I'm holding it close, but I did not like how the linen's just too dark. It's just not going to work. It's not going to show all the pretty greens and pinks as much as I would like. So I am putting this one aside, and I will buy, once June hits and my budget gets restocked, I will buy fabric for that. So I don't know whether we'll see that in Stitch Mania at all, since it will be into June before I can buy the fabric, but I'll probably do a Stitch with Me at some point. So I went to the next new start in line, and this is a nice little one, Happily Ever After. This is from Glory Bee. So I think that's a sweet one. I'm using this seafoam fabric that I got. I believe I got this at the Stitching Post. This is a 28 count, so I'm doing 2/2. And I'm pretty much subbing out using whatever threads I think I want to use. So, and I'm starting up here with the Happily. So there's that. Let me bring the light back down so I can see. So I hope all of you guys had a great weekend. You know that I did. If you're caught up on my videos at all, you have seen the video of our meetup with the gals in Lancaster. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. Yeah, we'll be doing that again soon, and hopefully we can expand it a bit to other people in the area. We'll have to see how all that works out. Talk amongst yourselves while I count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is such big fabric and knitting, not knitting. This is not knitting, Jan. Stitching with 2 threads after being so used to working with 1 over small count is quite an adventure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 2. So the thread I'm using for this, the floss, it's probably an old Needle Necessities, which I understand is now Threadworks. Has lots of variegation in it. Hold on one second, let me get the packet. Oh shoot, come on. It has lots of pretty variegation in it, so I'm going to have fun watching this grow. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then those 2. What else was I going to talk to you about today? I had some things in mind, and then, oh, I get in front of the camera and I get all tongue-tied. I know, you're laughing at me right now. Interesting thing. So I had mentioned in, I believe it was the video I put up yesterday, my update video, that I had asked about floss colors for, oh, my Blackberry house. Boy, you know, mind blank. For the Blackberry house, remember I had posted a picture on Instagram and I had posted a picture on Stitch Mania about that I thought the floss color wasn't showing up on the fabric. And I got a response on Instagram. The first response was, yeah, it should be darker. And everybody else agreed. And there were about 10 respondents, somewhere around in there. On Stitch Mania, the first response was, oh no, I think it looks fine. And everybody on Stitch Mania agreed with that first poster. And again, there were probably about 10 or so. Now, the reason this was interesting was because it was, you know, totally opposite reactions, but everybody said what agreed with the first poster. And I just thought that that had to be some sort of interesting psychological thing going on there. So a person posted a response on that YouTube, a comment on that YouTube, pointing me to a YouTube channel that dealt with that issue. And I don't remember all the technical... I'm sorry, here I am bumping you again. I tried to get this set up this time so it wasn't going to be so in my way, but that's kind of impossible with the way I have it set up. Anyways, I don't remember all the technical mumbo jumbo, but it is definitely a thing where there was an experiment done. This was probably in the 70s by the looks of the clothes on the people, that they had 5 or maybe 6 people in a panel, and they showed them like a poster that had like a line to compare, and then 3 lines over on the other side that were all of different heights, and you were supposed to say which line, that first line, which one it matched with of the 3 other ones. And the first 4 people on the panel were, and I forget the word he used, but they were in on the experiment. There was only one person in the panel that wasn't, and he was the 4th or 5th one in line. So the first people would respond, and the first few lines that were shown, they picked the correct one that it matched. Once they got to the fourth line, they picked the wrong one. So, you know, you're going down the line of respondents, and you have a size of a line, and then there's the 3 over here, and they're supposed to say which number matches. So by the time they got to the 4th or 5th poster, they were picking the wrong one, and they were picking the same wrong one, and they were looking all bored, and yeah, of course. And so you get to the 5th guy in line, and you know, he can tell with his eyes tell him that they're picking the wrong one, but he's thinking, basically he's being gaslighted. He's thinking, well, maybe I'm not looking at it right, something's going on here, but okay, I'll go along with the rest of them. Maybe they know something I don't, you know, basically. So over and over and over again, he picks the wrong one because everybody else did. And so, you know, they kind of change up the experiment a little bit and have a person come in late who is told to write his answers down. And I think, you know, I'm not very good with numbers, so I can never remember, like, statistics very well, but I think there was something like there was a 37% chance that the respondents would answer incorrectly if everybody before them answered incorrectly. Once, or maybe it was 67, and once, so that a person came in late and he was told to write down his answers, and that when he wrote down his answers, even though everybody else was picking the incorrect one, because they couldn't see what he was doing, he would pick the correct one. So the chances of him agreeing incorrectly with the rest of the group went down to like 5%. And so the thing that they're going on here is called, let's see, there's 2 different variations. One is informational correspondence, I believe they called it. And that has to do with people, they'll listen to, even though they don't initially agree, they'll listen to any reasoning that is presented and agree with the rest of the people on the team because basically they've been talked into it. The other one is, and I'm not going to remember the word, associative, something like that, correspondence, where basically you don't want to go against the flow. You don't want to go against the crowd. You think people will think you're weird if you go against the crowd, or, you know, that they won't want to associate with you if you go against what they've said. So everybody agrees. And I thought that was very interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And and I think explains a lot of about our society and people in general, that, you know, we all want to be liked. And so we have a tendency to agree with what other people say. Not all the time, of course. I think a lot of it has to do with how confident we are on the subject matter, how engaged we are, how much we care about it. But I just thought that was a very interesting little experiment, and kind of explained a lot of what we see, either that happens in Facebook. You can tell I keep losing track, huh? I have to keep counting. Like I said, numbers aren't my thing. You know, when people kind of gang up on somebody on Facebook, you have to wonder how much of that is, well, they did it, so, you know, it can't be a bad thing. I'm going to do it too. I just thought that was interesting. Kind of food for thought on this Monday morning. Let's see. Okay, so I think, whoops, oh, goodness gracious. I think this one is going to go pretty quickly. Of course, there's a house and a roof, and so that will slow me down a bit. But I think by the time I get back to this tomorrow and show you, or by the time I get back here tomorrow and show you, I will have quite a bit done. Hopefully, barring anything weird happening today. I'm not going anyplace today. Got my grocery shopping done yesterday. Got to get some laundry done. Haven't got my exercise in yet today. Like I said, I had thought I was going to get this up earlier, and so I decided to do this before I exercised this morning. My friend can't exercise today. She worked out too hard the past 2 days, and she's hurting too badly today, so she's taking an off day. So I was going to go down and get on the treadmill for a few miles, because it's way too hot and muggy to go outside and walk, which makes me sad because I love walking outside. But I was going to try and get it in this morning, and I couldn't find my mic, my headphones. You know, I packed them to take with me to Lancaster, and you know, you put them in a little pocket somewhere, thinking, oh, that's a nice place to keep them. I'll remember they're there. Yeah, you know how that works. Searching for it for a half hour, and then that time is just gone. So frustrating. So I had a little bit of a nibble before I came here to do this, and then I'll work out. Or maybe I'll have another little bit of a nibble before I work out, because I'm going to be pretty hungry. But while this is done and uploading, I'll get going doing something else. Oh, that looks awful right there. See how I don't like how this one is laying compared to that one. But this is a little fun one. So I'm debating what to do next, because of course I still have the other leg of the H to do. But if I do that, then it's a bit of a jump to come over and do the A, especially if I go down this way. I hate having to cut and start my thread all the time. So I may just jump over here and work on the A and work across, and then at some point when I have just a bit of thread left, I can finish off this other leg of the H. Does that sound like a plan? I think it sounds like a plan. So last night, let's see, I worked quite a bit on my moment in chalk. And then Mike had to do some financial forms for work. So while he was working on those, I got my 5 minutes a day in on some of my other Maynia starts. Only about 4 or 5 of them, but hey, that wasn't too bad. Better than nothing. And then I did some knitting, and I meant to show you guys, I've meant to show you guys my sweater yesterday in my video, my update video, and I forgot. So that will have to wait. I'm working merrily on knitting 9 inches down from the underarm, so that'll take a while on fingering weight. My friend Kat, whose design this is that I'm doing the test knit for, she has put out another little kind of t-shirt in the meantime. It's really, really cute. It's knit in Barocco's new quinoa yarn, and she got a mention on, I don't know whether it was in the Barocco's email. Barocco is a yarn company for those who aren't knitters. Her new design got a mention by Barocco, and it got a mention on a podcast. So that's very exciting for her. She is a fantastic designer. She has a great, great eye for style and translating it into a sweater. And so I'm happy to see her getting the attention she deserves. And it was good to be doing some mindless knitting again last night while we were watching Westworld and John Oliver. We did get some good news about the job, and I'm kind of keeping quiet about it. Unofficial. He got accepted for one of the jobs, but I'm not going to say anything. We let the boys know and we let his parents know, but I'm not going to say anything until he says something more out in public. I let a couple of our friends know, but anyways, you will find out soon enough. But yeah, that's kind of a weight off our shoulders, and kind of start the waiting process now of getting, like, the 2 offices have to agree when he can leave, and then all the processing that takes place to actually move for the government. And the government will be moving us, so. And then we have to figure out the whole getting the RV out to Phoenix, because that is where we will be storing it while we're gone, and they'll be shipping our Jeep over too, so I don't know when that will happen. That will probably get shipped out of the port of Baltimore, so that means we won't be able to tow it behind us, so that's a whole nother twist that we will have to think about. So, I wonder if they'll pay if we rent one to take with us the whole way, but then we'd have to, yeah, probably just rent it every place we stop. And most stops will just be like overnight just to get across the country. Stop and see the boys and that kind of thing. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. All right, I am at 23 minutes. That's about where I like to be. I am going to end this here. Like I said, hopefully by tomorrow I will have quite a nice chunk of this done to show you. And I believe tomorrow I will be working on my whip history of sheep, and I am really excited to get back to that. So guys, do you like all that turquoise going on there? I certainly do. I will see you tomorrow. You guys have a lovely day. Bye-bye.